Hello everybody and welcome back to another Dark and Darker video. Today I am playing Warlock and this is a post commentary, and what I'm running is a life drain build. And this was before I was level 15 on Warlock on the new wipe, so I don't have like a specific gear set or anything, but I am wearing some items I have found for my runs, and specifically what I'm trying to wear here with this gear setup is magical damage. Magical damage causes you to get more health back from life drain. And this was before they rebuffed Curse of Pain to make it usable again. So I was doing the life drain build, and Warlock is really good for getting rich, which is what we're doing in today's video. And right off the bat here, I find a purple wizard hat and some lockpicks. That chest was extremely good for just a normal chest. Lockpicks are always a good find, especially before you can buy them. And what we're doing today is we are trying to do an Inferno run. And how I generally do this with a life drain build is all I will do is sit outside in the zone and slowly move towards a static Inferno down portal. And staying inside the zone pretty much guarantees that no one is going to come out and get you, or that if someone does come out and get you, that you can immediately report them because they are a Chinese hacker. So what we've got going on here is I am pulling the champion to a spot where he cannot get to me, and then I'm just going to spam Hellfire on him. It's nice that he's not coming up here because the other skeleton, that allows me to just Hellfire him from above. If he gets his shield in the way, that can be kind of annoying because his shield actually can block the Hellfire. And I really like the new animation they have showing that they're ticking down in health on the Hellfire afterwards, or from Flamewalker or any of that stuff. And I'm just life draining him right here, and you can see life drain isn't actually healing me all that much. That's because this gear setup I have on is not all that good, but it's way better than just default. And I would recommend you guys actually run the Curse of Pain setup now. They recently changed it so that any of the curses will heal you 2 per tick rather than 1. And they made the magical healing multiplier even worse with that. So it used to be 0.15 and now it is 0.1. So 1 magical healing equals a 1/10 of a magical healing per tick, which is really, really awful. Stats almost worthless now. And I'm also running this new perk that gives you 3 magical healing and 3 magical damage on your melee attacks. This is honestly a fantastic perk just because of how much faster it speeds up clearing. You spend so much less time working on your healing and all that. So it's very, very good. And it seems like it's also fairly good for PvP because 3 extra damage is actually a lot more than people make it out to be. And 3 health upon hitting someone is also pretty good. That 3 health can make a difference between life and death. Okay, so we are lockpicking this lion's head chest. Always worth to lockpick these guys. And if you're past level 15, I'd always recommend you buy 3 lockpicks and just open up everything that has a lockpick on it. Unless you're playing in a game mode with multiple people and one of them has a perk that lets them get all the locked chests for free. And there's a phoenix necklace there on the shelf. Now, generally it seems this wipe, if you want to make money very quickly, what you do is you pick up rings. And the best way to pick up rings is killing a bunch of mummies and killing a bunch of skull bats. And then there's also just certain shelves around the map that have ring spawns and jewelry spawns. And those are all just very good. And so I'd recommend you guys always pick up rings. Those are always good to pick up. They're generally very valuable. And yeah, while we're on this stage, I'm just looting very normally, and I'm grabbing gear items. This is before the season even started, by the way, so there really was no reason to be grabbing a whole bunch of treasure or anything like that. And I don't really much care for the ranks anyways, so I'm just going to grab whichever is more valuable and keep doing that. Also, just so you know, this lobby just did not have many people in it. This was me playing during the middle of the day. I had the day off for this. It just so happened to line up with the very first day of the wipe. This is the first day of the wipe. And I'm just going around looting, and there's just not many people in this lobby here. I believe it was like 6 or 7 people. Wasn't dead, but it ain't many. And you can see at the top right of my map there, the down portal. This room is really good for its down portal because you can hide in a lot of nooks and crannies around here, and it's just generally more centrally located on the map. And I was hearing another player there, actually, and so I'm thinking, okay, let's go ahead and run away. This is ratting, guys. I mean, I'm playing solo in trios. If you run into a trio and they have any brain cells in their skull, you are going to die. This isn't one of those games where you can easily just 1v3 people. Also, I've seen people saying that now that Curse of Pain is better, Life Drain has no purpose. That is not true. People don't seem to understand that Ray of Darkness is actually absurdly busted. So if you do a Ray of Darkness build, which is you just max out magic damage and magic power, you get as much magic damage, as much magic power as possible, and you use a magic staff, and then you use Soul Collector to get the plus 100% damage by collecting 10 souls, and then you just use Ray of Darkness as your only shadow spell, you can get it up to, I believe it's about 80 damage per second with Ray of Darkness, which is a lot for this game. And what people like to do with that is they like to have Dark Reflection on, which can deal 20 magic damage if you have 10 stacks on, and you might be thinking, oh, but if you use Ray of Darkness, that's going to be gone. If they hit you while you're using Ray of Darkness, it has not consumed it yet. It's when the spell ends. And so they will still get hit by a 20 damage Dark Reflection. And because Life Drain also works off of magical damage, these two setups are exactly the same. So you can have a really good healing setup and a really good damage setup all at once. And it's still a very good build. Now, the problem with that build, and its downside, its weakness, is similar to the Cleric build where you use the perk, the active perk that gives you plus 50% PDR, right? Is that someone can just run away from you very quickly. And if they do that, your 10 stacks are already gone on the Soul Collector. And you can't do 80 DPS again. It would just be like 40. And that's way, way weaker. So it's pretty much glass cannon one person and then get out of the game if you do that setup. But for that one person, you're going to kill pretty much anyone. There's only a couple builds that would actually beat you on that. And it's not too expensive. You could probably get that setup for about 1,500 gold. Now that said, the magical healing setup with Warlock where you just Curse of Pain someone and run away with movement speed items, that's always been very good, and I think that's going to continue being very good now that Curse of Pain is kind of back in the game. I think that setup will do well as well. But two very different builds. And you can see I'm just kind of sitting in the zone here, and this is a great way to get people off of you. And like I said before, if anyone just comes out into the zone chasing you down from out of nowhere, and you die to them, make certain you report them afterwards. This game is definitely running into an issue with people having a lot of wall hacks on. Luckily, it isn't so in the way of Escape from Tarkov where you join in a game and the cheaters just instantly kill you every time you join a lobby. But wall hacks are rife in this game, so if that ever happens, make certain to report them. And Iron Mace does ban these people, it's just they seem to buy new accounts over and over. And got the mage to kill themselves there. Usually a good method. The issue with that is you don't get XP for it then. It's based off the final hit there, which is really annoying. Especially when I was needing XP like this. Getting over to the market is very important. And I always recommend you guys loot the death skulls. They have very high chance of giving jewelry. That wasn't a very good piece of jewelry there, but if it's like a ring or something, that's going to be worth something. Now, I am just running past to go to the down portal here. I'm not going to worry too much about these skeletons. Let's just run on past. We will still close the door behind because we don't even know if this gate's open yet. It isn't open yet. And we're just going to summon up a Hydra, life drain it, and there opens the gate. It usually opens at about this 4/5 of the way through the match point. I believe there is some RNG involved in it, but a lot less than with the blue portals. And I went down through there, and I just cut ahead for you guys so that we're into the Inferno. Now, here I spawned in the northeastern quadrant, which can be very difficult if you are not on Warlock, especially as a solo, because The mob density in this portion is just very difficult. Now, keep in mind, this is a trios map, so I'm just saying, as a solo, this part is hard. But it's very worthwhile to spawn in this room because there's just a lot of loot in this room. And the loot is up top by the health shrine. You want to loot the big chests up there. They can be gold chests. They can be lion's heads. Right here, I'm trying to get rid of the hellhounds, the demon dogs, whatever you want to call them. And I'm doing that by hellfiring them. The easiest way to do this is you can line it up so hellfire hits both, and then let your Hydra kill them. Just spawn it in the middle, let your Hydra get them, and it will finish them off. They can also peek their head through the door like this. Keep in mind, if you are doing High Roller Inferno, that they can be Nightmare variants. It's more common for them to be Nightmare variants. And if you hit them in the collar, it will actually hurt you. And we could actually see that one right there. I did end up hitting it in the collar with that hellfire. But this is the nice thing about playing Warlock. You just get healed so darn much from life drain and all this other stuff. Now, if you are doing these solo Inferno runs, players have gotten a lot better and more people are running Inferno nowadays, especially towards the start of the wipe. And so what you need to watch out for in the lobby is people who are very well geared, and you need to know if you need to watch out for them. Do they look like a team comp that wants to go down to Inferno? Do they look like a team comp that has enough gear on that they could handle Inferno? And of course, that varies player to player, but get as much info as you can before the round even starts. And right now, we have the Nightmare Zombie coming towards me and a Nightmare Skeleton. The shield ones are the easiest variant of Nightmare Skeleton. You do gotta watch out for ding their shield. And you can see there, I walked through the earlier poison, and it just was absolutely destroying me. Nightmare Zombies are very annoying because there's just so much poison going around, and it's almost impossible to kill them before they get a poison off unless you have a super high damage kit on, which I just do not. Warlock does a lot of damage, but not like that. And life draining the skeleton here. I was kind of hoping my Hydra would kill it, but it looks like my life drain did. And those pants were not really all that bad. I think it was +4 dexterity on just the base white line, and then +2 strength on one of the blue lines. So I thought those would sell for something, but people don't really want strength all that bad. It's not that they dislike it, it's just not as min-maxed as people would like it to be. I was really liking taking memory capacity items at this point because life drain does take quite a bit of memory capacity to even run. And because I don't have leveled up traders, I did not have access to the market at this point, it was pretty huge for me to grab memory capacity items. So if you see me extra focusing on memory capacity or knowledge items, that's why. Also, guys, make certain you break the barrels and the boxes in the Inferno. They can drop purple items quite frequently, and because you can just sort through so many purple items, you can end up becoming very wealthy just by sorting through purple items. That's another reason why this room is really good, by the way. There's a lot of barrels in it once you go up top. By the way, these Nightmare Mages have really good drops, so make certain you kill them. Usually it's pretty easy to just get them to kill themselves if you stay within range and then get them to cast at a wall. The fire does stay about forever, though. And this is a Mimic, it seems like I hit. And looks like I aggroed this guy with my Hellfire. Needed to kill him anyway, so that's fine. Yep, definitely hit him with a Hellfire, because he went down quick. And now I'm looking through over there. I'm trying to grab that campfire kit, because I need that for a quest. Got to turn in 5 campfire kits. By the way, I really like what they've done with the quests. They're just way easier now, way lower amount of items you need to turn in. And also being able to turn in partial amounts of items. That was such a problem last wipe, with turning in 15 leather caps and 15 campfires all at once. That was horrible. And these guys aren't actually close enough for me to hellfire them both, it looks like, which is annoying. I did hit that one with the offshoot of that hellfire, but yeah, and now we get 2 lion's head chests. Nice. Okay, so we're picking the lock on this one. This is why you should always bring lockpicks. And, ooh, look at that, a cape. I already have one on, which I should not have brought a cape in, by the way, and honestly shouldn't have brought jewelry in either, because if you free up those slots, then you can just carry more items. So I always like to be wearing as little gear as possible. Usually I will bring a weapon and a magic casting item when I'm actually gearing up. And now we get 2 cloaks from this one. Whew, juicy chest. So I'm going to need to drop some things. I'm trying to figure out what to drop here. And I know this can look frustrating when you're not the one actually doing it. You're like, oh, drop that item and that item. It just makes so much sense. But your mind has so many things to focus on when you're actually playing other than just what items to swap. Okay, and now the circle is on the exact opposite end of the map from me. So normally this would kill me. Like, pretty much I'm dead at this point. What I would normally do is run into the far north room there, which is the skeleton archer room. That room's fairly easy, and then I could run into the boss room from there and run across. I am not going to attempt to do that on this one, and honestly, that's a misplay. But the misplay ends up working out for me and ends up being the right option on accident. So this wasn't me being like big brain or anything, by the way. This is literally just me misplaying and it ending up working out. And you'll see why in just a second. And by the way, I got my 4th cape there. And so that's pretty cool. And we get another campfire that I want, so I can get that campfire quest done. Another great reason to break barrels. And so I'm going to open up this door. This room over to the east is also generally fairly easy, although it does have a bunch of nightmare skeletons. What you do is you run back, you can close this door after aggroing a whole bunch of them, and then send a hellfire down here, and that will clear them out. And so I'm kind of just thinking, all right, we'll go down to the southeastern portion and get through that way, it seems, when I'm playing here. Probably shouldn't have done that because the circle's looking more towards just far south. And skeleton axemen or anything like that can be very dangerous still. That hellfire did not actually collide with him. These guys are pretty easy to kite as well. Do keep in mind they have a 3rd attack that goes along the ground that you have to jump over, but they're not too difficult. So you can still do the ducking thing for the first 2, and then you jump over the 3rd one. I just smacked him right there. And now keep in mind with hellfires running that those are very, very loud. That is a nightmare axeman. Be very, very careful of nightmare axemen. They will mess you up. This is why Hydra is great, because you can just use it to block yourself. And it ended up aggroing another skeleton. I slightly spawned it wrong. Oh, not another skeleton, a mimic. Which I didn't need a mimic right here. This is just a little bit of extra danger that I did not need. Luckily, I can sit in the zone for a while and just heal myself up. No biggie with this kit. The zone is not really all that dangerous to me. What is dangerous to me is the timer is moving. This round will end soon, and I need to clear all the way over there by then. And it looks like I'm going to heal to full. What I should have done right there is turned around and hellfired and then healed to full. Because you'll see that part of my life drain gets cut off there. Okay, and luckily they're both dead. I'm going to heal up again, it looks like. And now I'm hearing these hellhounds aggroed, and I'm thinking, okay, I must have hit them with my hellfire. That is not correct. That hellhound being dead right there is a dead giveaway. There are other players in this lobby, and they have cleared out this room. I am going to run past. And actually, I believe earlier in the footage on this one, I saw one of these players open the door down to the hallway. They didn't care to attack me. They didn't want to run down the hallway. Honestly, it would have been a bad idea for them, so I commend them for playing well. And that's really bad, though, because that means there's a bunch of portals probably missing at this point. Or there's a couple players left in the lobby, which could really mess me up. But it's really good because this room is already cleared out. which I kind of needed, otherwise I'd be dead here. So running through, and I'm looking for the last portal. They have all left already, so I'm going to try and grab their extra items. And there's always one more portal that spawns at this point. All of the portals should be taken unless they were a 2-man or a 1-man at this point. And it looks like they were a 3-man, so that's not what's going on. And what I should have done at this point is gone to loot the golden chest. But I hear the portal spawn here, and I'm not dying today. I'm getting out of here. I already have 4 capes. And let's get on out of here. So yeah, very good loot. This run ended up being about 1,500 gold. The capes aren't worth as much right now as they normally would be. But I did end up getting one mercurial cloak that was worth about 1,000 gold when I ended up selling it because it had very good rolls on it. And that's the one right there. Armor pen, additional physical damage, and its dexterity on the white line. So that one sold for a lot. Okay, anyways, guys, if you guys liked this video, make certain to subscribe and like, and let me know what else you'd like to see.